Hello and welcome to the Irish Hunting Podcast, the no bullshit podcast for the outdoor enthusiasts. If you're into hunting, fishing, fine wines and even finer foods, you've come to the right place. So pull up a chair. How's it going, folks, and welcome back to the Irish Hunting Podcast. On this week's episode number 74, we have Kevin MacGabhann on from Galway Bay Fishing. Anthony sat down and had a good chat with the man himself. He's going to be telling us what it's like running a fishing charter out of Galway. He is, of course, the man that brought the boys out on the fishing trip. So this is a real good one. Hope you all enjoy. Andy Grogan, how are you getting on, lad?
How are you, Buck? What's happening?
Oh, sure, look, living the dream. Same old crack. Any old crack yourself?
Look at
I do laugh to any crack. We're been chatting here for about 2 hours.
Yeah. Talking shite.
Talking pure.
Yeah, no, same old, buddy.
Yeah.
Flat to the mat. Yeah, back with a bang.
Finished in Galway, eh?
Yeah, Av is going back down this weekend now with the kids, but I'm near enough finished. We might get maybe one weekend down, maybe between now and the Crimbo, but that's it for the foreseeable.
Yeah.
It's good. Look, Galway people smashing parts of the world, smashing people. So it's good to get up and down, but it's also nice to be back into the routine as well. As you can probably tell, I put on a little bit of.
Look at man, it's a sign of a good summer, is all that.
Big shout out to Anto down in Mike Cullen Fitness, the Wild. Oh, jeez, I'm going to forget his gym now. I was just saying before we come on how bad my memory was, but yeah, he gave me a little bit of a training program. I think I showed you, yeah.
Yes.
And he's given me a bit of an encouragement there to try and lose to get ready for the hunting season.
Absolutely, man. The hunting season kicks off, it'll be gone anyway, without a shadow of a doubt.
I was thinking about keeping it because the insulation.
You know what I mean? God, well, you see, you're using your head there, you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
So by the end of the hunting season, you'd be just about lost it, so you could tip it on again.
Absolutely, man. 100%. Yeah.
That was the thinking. When you breach 118 kilos, man, it's time to say, no.
You'd be grand. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Don't fucking worry about it.
Reverse.
Come here, I meant to actually ask you, have you any venison left or are you all out? What were you?
I have a little bit of venison left.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
Well, when I say a little bit, I probably have a couple of weeks worth. I had venison again tonight. I've had venison 3 nights this week.
I must remind me of a few burgers there. Give you a few burgers, man.
Good man.
A few nice burgers there for you. I will give you them.
Thank you.
How's things going with the club? Have you been out there or what's been going on?
Yeah, we were chatting to the lads. So all the poults are in good order. Eating like devils. Everything doing well, losing very, very little, which is good. And we're starting to get feeders now ready and stuff like that. All the kind of the hard work and stuff. Nolly's obviously doing 90% of it at the minute because he goes up and checks them every day and minds them like babies. And I'll have to try and pick 1 or 2 to bring back to schools now for the schools program that's back in full tilt. So other than that, very little happening in the club. Again, probably just trying to get ready now for the first, because it won't feel that rocking up.
I know, you won't. Honest to Jesus,
you might as well say September now.
Yeah,
you have September and a couple of weeks in October, and sure, that's it. So you've basically 8 weekends between now. And yourself, they don't be long swallowed up.
Absolutely fly, man. Especially when the old weather goes back and stuff. The nights just close in that fast, man. You know what I mean? It just absolutely flies.
How's your gig going?
Yeah, it's going well, man. Yeah, it's going well. I was up there actually just before you came down. I just went up and checked the birds and that. We're after giving them another dose for the worms. They're what's it called, when they're sneezing or that kind of a
wheezing or
kind of a bark to do. So we're after giving it to them in the food and that and the drink. So we're hoping, but they're flying it now. They are they're starting to put on a good bit of weight now. Yeah, a few nice tails and stuff. Lovely colours. I think we've about out of 180 birds. I think we've about 3 hens. So we were happy with that. Yeah. No, they're going well. I have a question I want to... What are you feeding yours? Are you on like grower?
Oh, geez, now I'd have to ask Nolly what he's... what exactly he's feeding them.
Yeah, we've been using turkey grower, like up, that's what we've been using now. And one of the lads was kind of saying, keep them on it as long as you can kind of afford to keep them on it.
Yeah.
Then I was talking to another fella actually he rears poultry. He's a chicken farmer, and he was saying no, that's not ideal, because he says the grower will, it'll increase the bone structure.
Yeah.
But he says it won't put on fat reserves. So he says then you need to change it. So we're at about 16 weeks now. So yeah, the question I want to put out to people is, and Shane, if you're listening, which I know you will be, at what stage do you change them, or do you take them off the grower?
Yeah.
And what ideally should we put them on?
Yeah, I think we're off the grower, or nearly. I know he had a couple of bags left. But I don't know what exactly he's feeding them now and what ratio and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's a good question actually. Yeah.
So we'll look at somebody will get in touch and let us know. I just want to know. I think we've 4 bags. That grower stuff is expensive, man. I think we were getting 6 bags at the time, was about €78 or something. Expensive enough.
All of that gear, man, is like you think the birds is the big expense, but then as you say, you've dosing and it's all the small stuff, doesn't it? The little drinkers and all that kind of the knick-knacky stuff. All starts to add up.
It does. I think a lad said it at the early stage, and I kind of thought, I said, no, I don't think but he's actually probably bang on. Whatever you spend on your birds, you're going to spend the same on feed. Yeah. I'd say he was fucking bang on.
Yeah, because they eat like fuck.
Yeah, unreal, man. Yeah.
We had kale, like it was a fast-growing kale in both pens.
More.
Man, you swear they never. They just came in and flittered.
Demolished it. Yeah.
And they love. Shane actually told me last year they love nettles.
Nettles. Yeah.
So we were strimming outside the pens. You'd nettles 6 foot high.
Yeah.
But we started to gather them up. Throw in a couple of forkfuls, man. Well, they go bananas for whatever's in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One of the other lads in the club made a good point. I remember seeing before some pens had loads of nettles growing in it, and they were saying, "Oh, don't cut them, like, you know what I mean? Don't take them out, but leave them and pick." But he made an interesting point. Your nettles will grow like fucking mad, right? But after a couple of days, they'll go in, they'll mow the nettles out.
Yeah.
But because they grow so big, nothing grows underneath them.
Yes.
So it turns them up and shite.
Yeah.
And I just thought to say that's a good point in fairness.
Yeah.
You're better off to throw them in. Like
keep the crop going inside and then throw the nettles in from the outside.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mission, but like it's worthwhile because you can almost see them perking up. Whatever's in it, obviously full of iron and stuff. So look, it just shows you that a mix, I think, is always good, isn't it?
Nah, it is, definitely, yeah.
She said a bit of sand, and we had one lad at the carpentry shop, and there was wood shavings and that, and it was a corner wet, and threw in a couple of bucketfuls, just to. It wasn't wet, it was dampish, low corner, and like that, man, they love that kind of rooting and they're fluffing the wings in it, and then you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's all that kind of keep them entertained, amused, and keep them healthy.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Are yours digging it? Are they doing much rooting on the ground, like?
Yeah, to be fucking pawn.
Yeah. Just we've huge holes, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, which I
think they sit down, don't they? They do. The feathers and whatever there'd be dry bath, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But like that, we had a couple of little runners because we had a couple of late ones obviously this year, and there was one little hole where the sheeting had overlapped.
Yeah.
And now you'd fit, I don't know, it was 2 inches. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Fucker found it.
Are you serious?
So one of them actually got out, but he's still circling around. Nobody reckons it's him anyway.
Yeah.
So look. Can't wait now for this season.
Yeah. Brian sent me a video the other day. I thought it was brilliant. He just says, one of the locals is calling in for a visit. Just this absolute monster of a cock pheasant. And he's strutting across the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look in, to have a look and see.
How's the grub like in there?
Exactly. What the fuck is going on in there? Do you know what I mean? But sure, look.
When we kept a couple of hens back last year, and like that, we had a resident cock just hanging around the pen, and you want to see him like fluttering. Even when we went into the pen, it was like he was saying, "Get out of there now!" That's my women.
Yeah, Jesus Christ!
But you won't be sighting or seeing them now for
no.
come the first.
No. Come here. Did you get out after? I actually never asked you this. Did you get out? Were you out after Fox or that in any evening? Or?
I've been doing a good bit of walking with the dogs now, trying to get a bit of fitness and a bit of manners into them as myself. So, I'm starting just doing a small bit of. Look, I'm never going to be at the level that some of the men we've had on here, you know. But I just want them, you know, to
behave.
Yeah, behave. Come back when I want them, to stop hunting when I want them. So I was out on the Sunday last, and sure the sun was splitting the stones. So I went down with my t-shirt and shorts and went off down the fields with the little Springer. She's a year old, and the everything spot on. You know, stop her, stay, and on she go whenever, you know, on command. And I have, you know, if I point to the left ditch, she'll go into the left ditch, you know.
Yeah.
She'll go right now. She won't stay there for very long because she doesn't really know what she's after. But she's doing that. So I'm building up a little bit of a relationship with her. And she's a good temperament and so on until she met the hare.
Right.
Yeah. And she took off after that fucking hare, man. Like, and she would not, I roaring at her and she wouldn't stop.
No way.
So I had to give out to her a little bit. And,
Yeah, I know.
118 kilos running through a marshy field after a fucking dog chasing the hare. I said a farmer in a pair of shorts. But anyway, got her back. She knew she was after doing wrong.
Yeah, well, that's the most important thing.
Put her back on the lead and brought her for another half an hour on the lead and got her settled back down. Then took her off again. And I didn't obviously come across another rabbit or hare, but so I want to try and that's where actually the terminal is very handy, because you can look into a field and if there's a, you know what I mean, at least you know then if she's after passing it or not.
Yeah.
So I know she's knows anyway for starters. Yeah, and she's mad to hunt them, which is another one.
Brilliant.
So and then I brought me little. I think me pointer's going to be the one, man, this season. Yeah, she just. I showed you a picture or a video of her pointing. Blackbirds. She's mad after blackbirds. Fucking, because it's the only thing she's really hunted so far. But have her retrieving with a ball, and like that, hunting left and right. And what I liked about her on one of the other fields was I came in and I actually could see I didn't have a thermal with me. It was during the day, but I could see Xavier sticking up, and I knew there was her, and she was just behind the ditch on the left. So they called her over, and we went into this field, and straight away into the field, ears went up, you know, like perked up, then nose to the ground, and hunted left to right, and hunted left on the hare straight away, and the hare was only moving away maybe 40, 50 yards at a time and stopping, you know, so I could see him. I actually had the tail end or the start of the video. The battery went dead. And so I kept coming up to her. So she wasn't hunting really too far ahead of me, you know, which I liked. And then the next thing, the hare took off to the left, spun around, and she kind of copped it and followed it. And then, but the minute when it was gone off, I knew he was gone. I just whistled once, straight back to me, you know. So she gave up the hunt once she knew I wanted her back, which was good. Like, So I'm happy with it. That's all I can. If I can keep progressing her like that, and if she can find out what I want off her, very limited, but I'll be happy with that, man.
Yeah,
I don't want any.
Super job. Yeah. So, it's a good start on you. You're in an awful lot of a better position now than you were this time last year.
Well, that is. And of course, then I was messing the other night. I think I sent you the video. I must put it up. The fox. I was coming back up the road. It was late when I got home.
Yeah.
And as part of me fitness,
48 yards.
48 meters. Yeah.
Lord Jesus Christ.
I said I was going to mess. You know, just to see a hand call, and like that. I wasn't expecting. I was turning the corner to go home.
Yeah.
And next, I look out and here it is, looking straight back at me. 48 meters. I lasered at it. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't go back for the rifle.
I was thinking about it, man. I was thinking about it. But I was after, that was my third dog I was after walking. And I said, if I get the rifle now, I'll be out all night.
I know. Hence why you thought maybe. Oh. Yeah, myself and McKeever went out last night. till the early hours of the morning.
What time did you get in?
Well, I was probably in bed at. I was in bed for 2:00, but then I was back up out of bed at 5:30. So
Yeah.
down to Limerick today. But we just went out. We've got a new tripod here. We're going to be talking about.
So we've a nice bit of gear here in the
Yeah,
studio.
An Athlon. It's the Midas CF29 carbon fibre, which is obviously the CF. Lovely bit of kit. We're going to do a proper look into that. We'll both get out with it. We'll both have a go at it.
Yeah.
So I just had it there last night. Kind of myself and Kev were here messing around, and then we said, "Fuck it, we'll go." So we brought that out, and we done a couple of walking. We done all the farm across beside me here. Then we went across the road, and then we came back up the road. And we went up to. I don't know why I had in my head. I thought there was a wheat field up the road that was cut, but it wasn't cut. So we didn't waste too long. But not one fox did I see the whole night. Not one. Didn't even see one. Not even at any stage. Myself and McKeeve, we were both there. Both had thermals. Not one. Not even nothing. Not even a badger. Nothing. It was just a weird. I don't know. Was it? And we've talked about this before. I don't know why it is, but there is nights like that. It's just a complete blank.
Yeah, maybe they got full during the day and resting up or something.
I think it's down to the weather. I think there's something weather-wise that they just go no.
Yeah,
no.
And it has been pretty warm. So maybe who knows? That's nature, isn't it? There's a bit of muck spreading and stuff going on local to me there, and I was thinking to myself there as I was driving over, that'd be a nice,
be a good one.
Yeah.
I always find, if they're spreading muck, it's great. You'll see them out rooting for a few slugs or something like that. But no, so we went out late last night and home and bollocks now. But no, we're heading to Wicklow for a deer tomorrow. Myself and Big Man, I think, are hoping to head down maybe if the stars align and everything works out. So that'll be my first time to get out this year. So
he was going for an evening shot or a morning shot?
Evening. I'd say evening. Yeah. We'll go for an evening shot. So, and then Sunday, I've been promising Cooper I'd spend a whole day with him type thing, and I says to him, what do you want to do? I says, we could maybe go karting. I said, do you know what I mean? Maybe go cinema. Do you know what I mean? The whole day Saturday. What do you want to do? And he says, can we go fishing? I says, you're right, we can go fishing.
Happy days.
So I don't know where we're going yet, but we're going to spend it. We're going to spend
deadly stuff, fishing, man. Yeah. She can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong, man. Absolutely. He's reared well.
I was similar to yourself now. I was up early this morning. I was up at 4 this morning, and I was changing I went out last Sunday morning. I got up on Sunday, and I'm staying off drink, I have a big weekend of a plan this weekend, as you know. I'm heading off to father and the brother, so I'm going to drink with professionals this weekend.
So bring your fucking
try and give Mr. Liver a little relax, the calm before the storm. So, and I said, so I was in bed early enough Saturday evening, and say I'm pulling the house apart at home and stuff, and I was just, I hadn't been, I've been walking the dogs and stuff, but I was just mad to go for an hour stroll. Yeah. So I said, what I do is I take the Sunday morning, I bring up my spy point, and I was going to have a look up around my usual haunted spots and see where the heavy track is, and try to pick a spot and pull it up, and set it up, and try to bring a rifle with me. And if Jeffrey did decide that he was going to miraculously appear in front of me, I might have a pop at him. So went up and like that, didn't see a cricket, man. Like the first track, I thought I was setting it up in a good spot. Heavy track, like a fucking T-junction, straightforward, up and down, and then one to the right. And I left it up there all week and nothing. So I said, obviously I'm going away for the weekend. So before the weekend, I wanted, and I have meetings tomorrow, so I'm not going to get it tomorrow. So I said, get up early, get up into, I do kill two birds in one stone. Have a look, see if there's anything moving. Before first light. So got up at 4 o'clock, had the coffee, had the toast, and first light I think was 10 to 6 or 6:30 this morning, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I got my gear ready and mooched around and went on up, and of course up there you wouldn't go in before first light anyway, because you'd break your fucking leg. So I had to wait for a light to break a little bit anyway, so I can make my way even into position and I waited there. Just scoped out one of the open grounds before I went in to take the camera. Nothing. No. I overtook the camera and moved it over to where it was the heavier set of track, where I probably should have put in the first place, and set it up. And obviously on the way over here this evening, I was driving and I had the phone in the cradle. And next thing, alert, spy point camera.
Oh, I love it.
And it was a little.
I love it.
It was only about the size of a 5-cent coin.
I actually get them on my watch now. And I absolutely, go on, yeah.
But of course, halfway across here, there's no fucking internet.
Reception. No, not a bit.
So this thing was just like, I was there like...
oh, Jesus.
And now I voice activate it, right?
Okay, yeah.
The phone, like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, the spy point thing was just, the target was just pulsing at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as downloading. And it was literally outside your gate here by the time. And what was it?
Fox.
A nice fox it is, man.
A nice fox too, but
straight
still,
across.
You won't get fucking backstraps over that. No, jeez.
But I'm hopeful.
I can tell you, man. And we were just talking about like we knew said that before. Like people have. Many times have you seen forums of people asking about trail cameras and people saying no, don't go for the spy point or this and that. I have had that spy point for 4 years and I absolutely cannot say a bad word about it.
Yeah, you've yours a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
I only got it kind of midway through last season, as you know.
Yeah.
And like that, I didn't want to be trekking through into before during the season, so I only really start to play with it now, but I'm really impressed, man.
Oh, it's brilliant, man.
It's cool.
Absolutely is brilliant. I have to say, I think they're
the quality
phenomenal.
of the foes and stuff.
Absolutely.
So like and even just the buzz, like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Imagine
it's great. I remember when I got mine first, man, and I wasn't even really deer hunting at the time, and I used to get the kids involved, and we used to set it up out in the backyard. We'd leave out a couple of rash or sausage or something, and see. And then the next morning we'd be like, "Oh Lord, just look, and then never forget the first time a fox came up to it. You know what I mean? And it's a great way of getting the kids involved.
Interesting,
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Like, wake up and they used to come running in, on the camera, and I like, well, you're not going to believe what was in our backyard last night, and show a picture of a big fox, and they're just that is class.
Well, I often thought, like, do you know? We were actually talking about. Funny of Christmas presents before we got on there. It was a different story altogether. But just as you said that there, I know you've all different options in, and I don't know much about other trail cameras, so we're not saying this is the best one on the market, but we're just saying they're pretty good. And like that, you can get them the small ones. And the reason, imagine like in Christmas, getting a young lad or a young one trail camera, and they can go out and set up even around a pheasant feeder.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean?
Where's a thing of swallows or something in the shed or something?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Do you know,
it gives them great interest. Like,
absolutely. And then they can go off with it and set it up, and they get to learn tracks and trails and where to place them and where's the best. But
absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
You could be doing worse. Like
you could.
They're similar price to one of the video games, I presume.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say they're a lot cheaper. Like PlayStation's now are $500 and $600.
No, but the actual
the game itself. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
probably 80 and €90.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
be great gift. And there's loads of them. But I say, and I know there's other crowds that do them as well. But what I loved about the spy point was that bang, you have it on your phone. You don't have to go take an SD card out, go home, load it up, flick through 50 pic. You know what I mean? It's instant. Boom.
I think I paid the subscription for the.
You
get a few free ones.
You get 100 free. I think I pay $5 a month and I get 250 for that or something like that. I think
that's what it was. €70 for the year.
Something along lines of that, which is grand. Like,
it's grand. Yeah. And like that, you can limit the sensitivity. You can you can do this double click or triple click, so it'll take like a tree rapid shot.
Yeah. You can set it on a timer.
Yeah.
You can set it on a timer. So you say if there's like cattle moving around during or whatever, I don't want to take pictures, set it up on a timer. And it works. I'll tell you what I actually used it for here. I think I might have mentioned it before when I was building the house. We'd no electricity around. Yeah. I had it hidden on the big spruce tree at the front. And the minute anybody come in or out of that yard, bang, I know straight away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I used to drive the builder fucking mad because he didn't know where it was. Yeah. And he'd know me pulling it, I would drag him. Well, you're there. Where are you? I would have gone. How do you know I'm there? I said, I know you're there, right?
If you're the builder now, I hope you had a CCTV.
Okay, yeah.
The boys have the tea. Huh?
Yeah, honest to God. Yeah,
But they're very, very good.
Handy
like,
up, very useful,
absolutely,
very versatile. Yeah,
and one thing I like about them, you don't have to you don't have to pay for the GSM. Like you get the 100 free.
Yeah.
Which is it's decent quantity.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think you can get a mixture then of HD photographs. There's levels of subscription and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. But for someone starting off, sure, chase 100 would be loads. Like if you set it up properly,
absolutely, man. Like if you've someone small enough for one of the kids, or even for like I'm like a big child now. Please come through. Just send me one.
I know, yeah.
I just want to see someone with a big set of and I'm not even asking to shoot him. I just want to know that he's still there.
He's actually still there. Yeah. Also, geez, you have to. If you get one, man, send it to me straight away.
Of course I will.
Of course I will. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, cool. So look, we'll be doing.
Yeah,
my one's a slightly different model than yours.
Yeah, mine's an old one. Mine's they've come on leaps and bounds.
But as you were saying though, the one thing I had heard prior to getting one was that you'll have it for a year and you'll have to throw it away. You have yours.
Yeah, that's complete bullshit.
Yeah, I suppose you can be lucky. But
look, you can be unlucky, but I've had it for 4 years. I have left it outside for months on end, man, strapped somewhere, and the battery, and again the batteries. I'm telling you, I have that 4 years. I've changed the batteries 3 times today.
Yeah,
the battery life is absolutely outstanding.
And I think you can actually get ones now with a little solar panel thing on them.
Yeah, and it actually tops them up. But like, honest to God, man, I think they're absolutely class.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that because we're not sponsored by Spy Pint or anything like that. Not yet. But honest review about a piece of gear. I've had it for 4 years in the minus 10, 11 degrees. We had one, so winter I've left it out. Never an issue. Never, ever an issue. So that's as much as I can say about them,
Good stuff.
We'll bring this. You had a good old chat with Kevin. This is going back a bit of a while ago.
Yeah. A couple of weeks back, myself and himself went out to Spittle actually, and we had a cup of coffee. You'll see you'll hear in the interview. I'm not messing, man. Some people are stupid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now you have to. I'm not talking about Kevin. If you're listening, it's not you I'm talking about, no. But he'll remember.
Yeah,
there was 12 seats over the other corner, right?
Yeah,
and it was quite clear that we were, because we had the microphones up, and you know what I mean. And sure enough, somebody came over and sat like right next to us, and proceeded to shout.
Yeah.
So we had to stop it, and we went back to Kev's house for a chat, and we had a cup of tea and the biscuits and all.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I suppose, to get his take on what's actually happening out in the sea.
Yeah.
You know, the changes he's seen in the 20, 30 years he's been out there. Obviously, Kevin's a renowned chef himself. Had his own restaurant out in Spittle. So he's fishing along, and look, you've got to meet him.
Yeah, fierce nice fella. Yeah,
I've been on the boat a couple of times now, and like that, he gets more crack out. He said that he kind of commended us for the couple of trips we've had with him. That all the lads, there's no. And this is a compliment to all the lads over the last couple of years. No pretentious shit. It was just go out, have a bit of fun, have a bit of fishing, have the couple of pints, and have a bit of grub, So, hope he's enjoyed this one. I enjoyed sitting down and chatting with him.
Yeah, and interesting, fierce interesting.
He is, and he's a cool dude. And
down to earth. Just on, but before I do, Jabata, you brought something about that person coming over, and talking. I was doing a job here, right, going back a couple of days ago, right? And I just said to myself, some people have no clue. I was doing this particular job in this area, and a fella walks over and stands literally 6 inches away from me. But you know the way when people come over, like, if I was walking over, I'd walk over and say, well, how are you getting on? No. Some people that just come over and stand there and they wait for you to make the conversation,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't best him anyway. And he was smoking, and I don't smoke, but he was smoking, and I don't know what, they were the most horrific smelling fucking. But the smoke, I was kind of kneeling down now at this stage doing the job. The smoke was literally blowing straight into my face, and the next thing there was fag ashes hitting me, and eventually I actually had to, and still not a word of him. Eventually I had said, sorry, you wouldn't just move away with that cigarette there, you're burning the ice out of my head. And he just says, all right, okay, and he fucked off. I was, why would you walk over? Random. He's like, if you're going to come over and say hello, I'd have a chat with you. I'm not an ignorant bad. You know what I mean? Oh, but anyway, I had to say that. I'm joking now. Yeah.
I know it's a similar story, right? I remember I was up having a few pints one night, this is going back a couple of years ago. Actually a work do in a pub, and there's a man in it, right, that has known me like since I was young, like, and would, you know, but he was playing this game, like, you know, he was after winning win the lotto, right? So anyway, he was sitting up, and I went to his bar, and I said, "How are you getting on, Dave? How are you?" And he said, "Oh, grand to yourself." And he said, "Who'd you be now?" And I says, "Sure, man." Oh, sure, you're Tony's son. Oh, that's really. He knew well, you see.
Yeah.
So I said, "Two can play this fucking game, right?" So he said to me, "You heard I had a bit of luck." Jeez, I didn't. This.
Yeah, and everyone knew. Yeah.
And he was shocked. I won the lotto. I said, "You did not."
Yeah, I know.
Jesus, fair play to you.
Jeez, that's great. First time I heard of that. That's not the local pepper, yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway,
I know some people can't. Here we go. This is a good one here.
Kevin MacGabhann.
Kevin MacGabhann, over to you.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Kevin MacGabhann in the lovely Spiddle. Well, not too lovely this morning.
No, well.
Thanks for coming along, Kev.
No worries.
Really appreciate it, dude. First off, MacGabhann.
MacGabhann, yeah.
Yeah, how, we're just talking briefly about that.
Yeah, when we came down, my dad came down from Dublin, and he was Charlie Smith, and he came down to work here. So when he came down here, he changed the name from Smith to MacGabhann, which is Irish for Smith.
How many years ago was that, Kev?
That was back in 1970, so...
70s.
70s, yeah.
And that Irish translation is son of the blacksmith, is that what you said?
Yeah, Machan
Gowan.
Yeah, so
very good.
There you go.
Very good. You have a couple of fuckle yourself, you do?
I would have the couple of fuckle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was moved down here when I was 4, so...
Yeah, you're ingrained.
Immersed.
Yeah, very good. And come here, your father, was he into the fishing, or...?
No, he was an accountant. He worked for Udras in the Gaeltachta.
Okay.
So there's no fishing, well, not unless we can...
There's no lineage in...
there's no fishing lineage.
Okay.
No.
And how that, well, I suppose it makes sense when you're looking out at the beautiful sea that we have here, but how first did you get into the gig?
Into fishing, left school at 16 and then went working on fishing trawlers.
Okay.
So did that for 2.5 years, then realised that that was going to go two ways. Either you were dead or an alcoholic, because it's a pretty tough existence.
Yeah.
So then I decided I'd take an easier path and trained to be a chef.
Yeah.
Went over to London, trained at Westminster College in London, and did chefing over there, and then came back here, set up a restaurant here.
In Spiddle?
The Bullishki restaurant in Spiddle. Ran that for about 11 years. And then one day got rid of the restaurant, got rid of the wife, bought a boat and went fishing. And now I'm
living the dream.
Got a charter boat now and take people fishing.
There's a lot of lads out there now asking, how did you manage all that? How did you become so successful? Huh?
So I've been doing the boat now for 25 years.
Very good.
Now to Spiddle, yeah.
And that's that was the dream gig. Then you're getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love fishing. I love rod and reel fishing, and I love bringing out. I love mixing with people as well, because in the restaurant business, you're mixing with people, you're mixing with customers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
the same thing. So I'm getting to do fishing, I'm getting to mix with customers, and
brilliant stuff.
It's it's a nice gig. Yeah, it's a
the charter is Galway Bay Fishing. Anyone doesn't know. We've been out. I think the first time we met, I'll go back a couple of years. You probably don't remember it, but there was two Irish lunatics out here on a really scorching day. Myself and my mate, we were fishing off the pier there. You guys had come back in, and you've a lot of pity for us and threw us up a couple of fish, and that's how we got I actually got sunstroke the same day, and I think you reminded me that you want to get yourself home pretty quickly and get something on that Irish stand. So. And that's how I think we came back the following year for our first stint with you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for anyone who hasn't tried it, I've been preaching this for the last couple of years. It's a fantastic day out. Just and you'll get out of it what you put in, isn't that it?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's if you go out expectations of catching loads of fish, you won't.
Yeah.
If you go down with that expectation of enjoying yourself, and you catch a few fish as a bonus. That's
the mentality.
To have in it. And you will catch fish.
Yeah, you'll chill out, you'll relax, and
exactly, and enjoy the day.
I think you remember this year, Big Mac, one of our lads, sat there all day. I think he was dead baiting or and he didn't catch a fish all day and he didn't care. He just wanted to. Exactly. Some lads
to take a part,
spin or you can jig or whatever. Yeah. But that was his gig. He wanted to do that, and so I'm quite happy to do that. And come here. The name of the boat.
On Madin Mara. Yeah, that means mermaid.
Mermaid.
That's Irish for mermaid. So
you were saying, well, we met one of you've a couple of kids.
I have 3 kids.
3 kids. We met your youngest son?
Yeah, my son. Yeah,
that's your Fionn. This year he's chef as well.
He's a chef as well for his sins. Yeah, I did not encourage that by any way, shape, or form.
But it's in the blood, as they say.
It's in the blood. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we got to taste some of your
ceviche,
yeah, fantastic this year. We went out, I think, with yourself. It was a great mix this year with Jack, obviously on the boat, Jack O'Keefe, yourself and Fionn, and I turned around at one stage and there was a couple of lads on the boat, and when raw fish was mentioned, you know what I'm saying, there was kind of looks. I'm not eating that, but as you probably seen, the brown bread was all gone. Then Jack cooked something on the way back in. That was all devoured. So by the end of the day, we'd convinced a few people
to try something.
Absolutely,
tried,
savage. Best. We were talking off air there, but a couple of different stories. What's your I suppose your funniest fishing story out there? What was the
funniest? Well, there's been quite a few. Funny experiences, but I had 2 lads there a couple of years ago, and they were big lads, and they wanted to catch a shark. Nothing for them but to catch a shark. So we proceeded out, and we went out. They had all the gear, the best of gear and everything, and we hooked into a poor beagle shark. And anybody who knows poor beagle sharks, they don't fight fair.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Untethered and Wanderwise, where adventure has no age limit. We're your co-host, Heidi Brandist and Nikki Mahundro, and we're here to inspire and celebrate women over 45 who are embracing their independence and want to explore the world on their own terms.
So you don't just hop on the boat.
No. They'll run away from you, but it won't be a screaming run. It'll be a whoosh, whoosh, where they're just, that they're just kind of cruising away, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. You just got to hang on, and then they'll suddenly stop and come straight at the boat, and you have to pick up the line. And they'll do the left and the right, and they do. But anyway, these 2 boys thought, we're big, mostly lads. We'll be able to
horse this one in.
Well, after about 25 minutes, I had to take the rod off them and say, lads, you're not getting in here with this, are you?
Yeah, that muscles won't do that.
Yeah,
the job.
It's technique. Technique. So I got the fish to the boat and then gave them the rod again so that they could say that they landed this fish. And next thing I look back and every bit of line that I gained was gone again.
Gone again. Yeah.
So anyway, we got the fish to the boat. We got the pictures, and then they wanted to go in because they had
job done. I presume I like we just talked. It's not for the faint heart. If you're a day's fishing, people think like it's easy going. What I noticed anyway was your equilibrium is thrown off.
You're constant motion.
You're constantly balanced. And this year actually was. We were lucky with the weather calm and so on. But the previous year was a little bit more choppier, and you're constantly trying to balance if you're not used to it. And then a full day's fishing, it's tough going.
Oh yeah, and be prepared to go to. You'll sleep well the night, huh?
Absolutely,
when you get home, you'll sleep well. But normally, I'll always if I'm taking a group out, I'll go to. Yeah, we might have a bit of rough weather to get through, to get somewhere where it's calm. And then we're able to fish in peace. But yeah, sometimes you have to go through the shite to get to the nice water.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a lovely day where it's flat cam all day long and it's gorgeous. So it's the luck of the draw, very much so.
And that's fishing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fishing, and it's called fishing, not catching.
Not catching. Yeah. I think one of the things I noticed with the last couple is the previous year more so than this year, but we went in for a few pints. We were all action when we come off the boat, and quite quickly, the tiredness kicks in. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's been a long day, but we went in for a few pints into Salt Hill, and I went for a slash, and I come back up to the boys and I said, "Jeez, there's something fucking wrong." I was in there, and I felt the room. I don't know where it was. The couple of pints,
Or the motion.
but that's that.
Yeah.
That,
Oh, you have that for a day or two.
yeah. It's
you be in a shower, in having a shower afterwards.
close the eyes and exactly.
You're wobbling around the
So
shower.
it wasn't just me.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't just me.
No, you get that. That leaves you after a while.
You get
I don't get that.
you're
anymore.
immune to it.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah. The I think last year one of the funniest moments for us anyway. I remember we were coming back in, and it was pretty choppy coming back in, and I looked up. I think you had the feet up on the dash of the boat. You were just chilled out, and there was lads trying to hold on out the back. And Fiona actually said to Brenny was actually he'll remember this when he's listened to it. But he was saying he said he was looking around. He said, "Jesus Christ," and he wouldn't be. His sea legs weren't great. I'll put it that way. And he said, looks to Fiona. He says, this is not bad at all. So he was bracing himself, thinking this could get fucking worse here.
Yeah,
Have you ever had a bad day out there?
Yeah, I remember one time having to leave the boat on one of the islands and get the ferry back in because it blew up. The forecast wasn't as... It came a lot worse than
what it was given.
Yeah, it was a southeast, northeasterly wind, and we went to the back of the islands and we were fishing away. And then when we come through the Gregory Sound, the waves were huge. Like my boat does an average of 12 knots, and we did 26 knots coming down a wave. So that'll tell you what.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I had to turn the boat to get into Kilronan, and yeah, we did 26 knots down a wave coming into Kilronan. I got the boat into Kilronan. I tied up and we went up and had a few pints at the pub and got the ferry home.
Yeah.
I flew out 2 days later and brought the boat back.
Very good.
Yeah, that was one of the hairiest experiences I had.
Yeah, and look,
but yeah, you have to respect the sea. And if I deem it's not safe to go out, it's not safe.
Yeah, I think you said to us, if I'm not worried.
As long as I look, as long as I'm smiling. But if I look worried, you need to shit yourself.
That's what I think, and it wasn't. I'd say as choppy days go, you probably wouldn't even remember it. You know what I mean? No. It was just at one stage, one of the lads was kind of sitting down, and he was just literally hooshed off the side of it. But other than that, I think it was as you rightly said. If you're not worried,
as long as I'm not worried.
Yeah, exactly. Plans for the year, Kev? Are you booked out for the year?
I'm pretty much booked out now. To the end of August, every weekday is booked out. September of a few days, all right. But all my weekends are gone till the end of October.
Yeah, savage.
So that's it. The weekends.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, usually by April. Yeah, all the weekends are gone.
Max crew on the boat. What's the
maximum? Comfortable crew on the boat is 8.
Yeah.
Max I can take is 12, but I like to keep it down to about 10.
Yeah.
10 is manageable.
And
it all depends. If you got 10 lads who all know how to use a rod and reel and know what they're doing,
that's fine.
But you've got 10 novices. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and it can be a bit crazy.
Look, there's a mixture obviously this year, as you probably know. I know fuck all about fishing, so I'm only learning as I go. But I think we've 6 or 7, and that was a nice number because everyone's comfortable if you know what you're doing. As you say, it's pretty simple. I think this year you looked over at one stage and there was a seal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you said to me, I remember I had hooked in, I was spinning, and if you hook into that, make sure and get that back
in
quick,
because the seal will have it.
And literally, I remember reeling back up. We were casting out, letting it sink down, reeling back in, and literally, I was delighted with myself. And next thing, off she went, gone. Yeah, so.
You caught the seal supper.
Yeah, well, look, I caught the biggest fish of the day anyway. I couldn't land it, obviously, but and we got to see a few minke whales, I think.
That's right, we did. We saw minke whales, dolphins, and some porpoises as well. There's plenty of life out there.
Absolutely. I think we always say, especially when we're out hunting or you're out in nature in general, there's never a day that goes by that you don't see something that'll spark the interest, or
exactly,
you know what I mean. You've never a dull day, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think we've been saying it for probably the last couple of years. All the boys say it every year. Make sure and book us in again next year, you know.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So fantastic day. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. I think one of the Leon, who was out with us this year, Grania Shoga. I think Grania
Yes.
worked with you
That's
many
right,
years
yeah.
ago.
She did, yeah.
In the
In the Bullishka.
yeah.
I was the head chef.
There you go. Small world, isn't it?
It is.
You
It
know?
is a small world.
And it's fantastic. I think no matter where we are, and like Leon's from South Africa, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Coming down here, putting a triangle together like that, you know, it's mental. It's mental.
You're never more than so many 5 or 7 sets away from some.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I don't know what the
What's-
term for that is.
What's the biggest? I suppose the fishing in general, Kev, is under
Threat.
under threat. I suppose. Yeah, I was going to say under attack wouldn't be the right word, but. What's your opinion on that?
Well, in the 25 years I've been doing it, I have seen a considerable decline in fish quantities and fish size.
Yeah.
And that is definitely down to overfishing and the commercial stuff like going on.
Yeah.
So that's there's a lot of there's taking of sprat out of the bay, which are the food source of all the fish. That would be the small bait fish. So fish are in an area for 2 reasons only: either they're feeding or they're reproducing.
Yeah.
There's commercial boats taking huge amounts of sprat out of the bay, and that's all the food for all the fish that live in the bay.
Okay.
And that's the reason why the size of the fish is decreasing, and then the quantity is the reason they're not there, because the food isn't there.
Isn't there?
So it's a
What's the solution to that?
solution to that is to stop taking sprat out of the
Yeah.
bay.
Yeah.
Because they're taking it. It's not for human consumption. It's to feed fish in fish farms.
Yeah.
So if you see the logic in it, like you're taking the food from the fish, the wild fish, out of the sea to feed to fish in fish farms, so the fish in the sea can't grow big.
Yeah. They're in there is the conundrum.
You know.
So what we're doing, like, if we talk that out a little bit, what we're doing actually is we're catching small fish to feed fish that we can catch easier, so that we can produce them cheaper, so that the people who are producing them, their margin is continuous.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, in other words, and we would say this regularly in terms of the meat end of things. We'd be big advocates for using all of the animal. I believe that you shouldn't be able to buy a steak for $5. You know what I mean? Steak should be a premium product. You know, it should be something that you have once a week if you're lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't be able to go out and have steak 5 times a week. You
Yes,
know,
exactly.
because the farmer's not getting reimbursed for it.
No,
you know,
it's the middleman.
Yeah,
And it's the same in the
fishing.
In the fishing industry, it's the big companies who are with these big boats out taking out all the stuff. They're making the money, and to produce an inferior product to what wild fish is a much more superior product than your farmed salmon. Really,
I've seen
the conditions of what
Yeah.
it's kept in and everything like that. It's not healthy food, but you go get a nice cod from the sea, or you get a nice pollock, as we catch pollock.
Yeah.
Or if you were lucky enough to get a wild salmon, the difference between wild salmon and farm salmon is chalk and cheese.
Yeah,
You know, and this is, I'd liken it as humanity is like a man up in a tree with a chainsaw, cutting the branches from underneath
himself. Yeah,
And next thing he falls out of the fucking tree and he goes, how the fuck did that happen?
yeah, exactly.
And that's
exactly.
what humanity is doing at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of pictures just online of farm salmon, lice, and they're biting at each other obviously because they're contained and they're infested, and they're dyes put into their feed to try and
They're constantly fed antibiotics because of infections down. So you're ingesting that like the antibiotic the fish have had all their life. So a wild salmon doesn't have any antibiotic in it.
Yeah. And essentially, it's a sustainable product if we can manage it
If we manage
correctly.
it was managed back in the day.
Yeah.
It was managed by the landlords. I know they weren't the nicest people in the world, but they managed the fisheries.
Yeah.
Like the Bullish River had a huge amount of salmon in it once upon a time. You won't catch a salmon in the Bullish River now.
Yeah. And that's. Do you think that's, again, is that a byproduct of the sprat, the what we're talking about with the sprat?
Well,
and
sprat
stuff?
is they're one of the things, but then the fishing of salmon in the wild as well by larger boats way off the coast, that's causing huge damage as well to the stocks here. Then the rivers are being netted as well, and there's
Pollution.
agricultural pollution. Agriculture is one of the biggest polluters of waterways in Ireland.
Yeah.
And that's runoff of now you can't blame the farmers. Have to do something with all the effluent from the from the cows, but I don't think it's managed. Farmers, it's not managed for the farmers. They're not helped to manage it properly.
No, it's going back to what we were saying. I think they're being pushed into a corner where they have to grow their product at the cheapest instead of saying.
And they have where can they cut a corner?
Yeah,
they cut a corner in the waste management.
Yeah,
when the waste management, then it's somebody else's problem. If I cut this corner, it goes into the river, whatever. Or
exactly. I think we'd all remember running around fields where you'd headland on fields, where you'd essentially wild growth. You could lose a couple of acres going around fields where there was roughage and briars and these were all before ditches and and that was a very simple barrier. So they were spreading on the main part of the land.
Yeah.
You weren't getting as much runoff. There was more organic material in the soil. They were absorbed and so on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's all interconnected. Even though one man is out at sea and one man's farming land, we're all interconnected.
We're all
interconnected.
It's our planet. Yeah, it's our country.
Yeah. And then I think I'd be on a few forums there, and I think I told you a story. I put up my first fish that I ever caught was a little brownie in the river behind me, and I was catching it. I was going to. I fed my family with it. I used it. So on, and I got hammered. As if I was the one that was after causing all the decline and the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think we kind of look inwards rather than.
Well, it's easier to criticise than to.
Yeah, to face the problem. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly.
We have. I think we've. I was reading some of the rivers locally are being infiltrated with Irish water or sewage, raw sewage being, allowed to be dumped into rivers and seas and stuff like that. And these are supposed to be the people that are managing. And I would presume that's a far bigger problem than a fisherman taking one brown trout out of the river for his pan.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, as we like to,
we do. You can. Yeah,
no better men than the Irishman to criticise his own, But then I suppose trawler. There's a big in terms of the trawlers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think our own waters are being perforated at times by.
Well, no, I think Paddy is great again at saying, somebody else is doing the problem when Paddy himself is well able to do just as much damage.
Okay, very
Irish fishermen do just as much damage as our Spanish and all these other boats. Yeah. The two boats that come into Galway Bay Fish and Sprat are Irish boats, and it's all fished for a factory up in Donegal that produces. So it's not Spanish boys coming in fishing all the small bait fish in Ireland.
Okay, so it's we're trying to diversion tactic look over there, and while we're doing that, we'll shoot off these couple of things here. Yeah. Look, I think. That mentality will have to change.
Well, you see, one of the biggest problems of what happens at sea is nobody sees what's happening at sea.
Yeah.
If I'd like to say if there's a bycatch thing that basically you're allowed to catch a certain amount of particular fish.
Yeah.
And then after that, then you find it hard now to talk.
Yeah, we might just pause this for 1 second.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, Kev, we're back in a little bit of peace and quiet.
The people next door started getting louder.
They wanted
to get in on the act. I think that's what it was. They wanted to get in on it.
I'd love to know what was in their coffee.
Because they ran out when they started drinking that coffee.
Yeah. By the end of it, yeah. So thanks for bringing me out here, Kev.
No worries.
Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Actually have friends of ours, myself and my wife, not too far from here, Dave and Kay Collins.
Collins, don't know them.
Furbo.
I don't think I know them.
I think Scott might, their son, eldest son, I think might have fished with you a couple of times.
Oh,
Scott
right,
Collins, yeah.
I've been 25 years of it now.
There's a lot gone through your boat, exactly. Yeah. But I've actually just coming out this road. I've been coming down here, Galway, probably 17, 18 years every summer. But my grandfather started coming down to the Galway races when it was a one-day meeting back in the day. And he stayed out in a little chalet here for bones of 40 years every year. Same one. Mrs. Cornelli, she's up from Porrickeen's, turn right up there. And I used to come down here and inverted commas, mind him, or he used to mind me. And
down to Porrickeen's for a few pints. Manny's a night.
And then he was actually a pioneer, so I don't know where I got it from, but he used to drop myself and my uncle into O'Connor's then, and we'd have a couple of pints in there at night time or down to Porrickeen. So some great memories. And I'd come out this road here every morning and to cure the hangover, jump straight into that rail hay or snow, into that sea out there, clear the head and go again. But we were talking just before we got interrupted, as I say, the challenges, I suppose, to fishing. One being, and I was just thinking on the way out that quite quickly, I think, we need to probably start, as you rightly said, looking inwards more so than blaming.
Yeah, blaming somebody else. It's easy to let it go on if you're blaming somebody else. Well, what can I do about it? They keep robbing from me. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah.
If we halved the intake of the sprat, for commercial purposes,
the sprat, they're what they call a converter fish. They convert phytoplankton into edible fish. Okay. So you see an increase in jellyfish because the sprat aren't eating the phytoplankton. The jellyfish feed on the plankton and stuff like that. So there's more food for them because there's less competition for the food because we're taking the sprat out of the water.
Okay.
So I've seen the jellyfish this year. There is brown jellyfish and they're the size of a dustbin lid.
Yeah.
I've never seen them before.
Okay.
There's things changing out there in the sea that I've never seen before. Temperatures are higher than they used to be, the water temperatures. So, we are having a serious impact, and definitely the balance, the sprat are the very bottom, the bottom of the food chain. They're, and if you start taking out that, the whole thing comes tumbling down.
Yeah.
And next thing then we have a crash. And we're very close to that crash. We can pull it back from the brink but it requires serious legislation from the government and people in the government to actually wake up and smell the coffee. That we are an island nation. We have a navy of 7 boats. 5 of them are mostly in port getting repaired. So
you guys are seeing it for firsthand. I think this comes from, again, fishermen, farmers, hunters. Mm-hmm. These are the men and the women on the ground, so they see the change first.
Yes.
But yet nobody. They'll go to a scientist or
a man in a suit's making decisions.
Exactly.
Who wouldn't know the front of a boat from the back of a boat? Or wouldn't know a female deer from a stag. This guy's making the decisions.
It's crazy. We had the answers. I think I was down. I know I'm digressing slightly, but it's interconnected. I was down putting bottles into the recycle machine the other day, and I was thinking, I always recycle my stuff anyway, So this is another layer of craziness that we're putting onto something. And I was just thinking about, when I was growing up and when you were growing up, the milkman put the glass bottle outside, you washed it out and you put it back out, and he collected that and it was filled back up again.
Exactly.
We had the answers, Now we're trying to reinvent the wheel.
You used to collect all the Fanta bottles and the Coke bottles.
You got your few bottles.
And you got your 10 pence for each bottle you brought back. It's not what they've reinvented the wheel now.
We've taken a man made him a millionaire, Eamon Ryan, but you know what I mean? Let him retire with his pension, and his contribution to it is that, you know.
Yeah, but it all comes down to it was cheaper for them to make a plastic bottle than it was to wash out a glass glass bottle and reuse it again.
And now we're watching young kids as young as 4, 5, 6, 7 drinking energy drinks, you know, that you shouldn't be given, you know, you're not fit to throw down.
I wouldn't drink it yourself, would you?
No. Do you know what I mean?
If you wake for a month
exactly. So, and that's what we've done. We've made things so cheap and so disposable that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Similar to the fish.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be a case, in my belief, that you should be able to have, you know, salmon every day. It should be a luxury. Absolutely. And we get back to the days where you pay a person. I listened to something actually very interesting. People have no problem now. They'll spend $4.50 on a coffee, you know, in a shop. They'll spend, you know, gwynn or €5 on a mocha latte, whatever, you know. And yet they'll look at a chicken, a full chicken, and say, "Oh, Jesus, that's $5.99. That's very dear." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? A full grown
chicken.
Animal. Do you know?
Yes, exactly.
It's crazy. And I suppose that gets back to the point, Kev. You were saying there about the jellyfish. I noticed last year. I think I was on Silver Strand one morning, and or probably the year before, sorry, and the whole beach was covered in jellyfish. It was like something out of an apocalypse, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're swimming out there more and more, I swim most mornings out there in the summer. And more you see more, like even in the couple of years I've been down here.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine.
What I've noticed is the small common purple jellyfish we used to get.
Yeah.
They're not as common or as many of them around anymore, but these great big brown fellas are.
Okay.
And they look a lot more menacing.
Yeah.
They look like, they could do some damage.
Yeah. And they're not the nice ones, I think, when you get stung, I don't think.
I don't think they're very nice when you get stung with them, like,
Yeah. And like you're seeing that, because you're out, you know, you're a couple of miles off the coast.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the change first. But yet nobody's coming to the likes of Kevin or the guys in the boats and asking, lads, what's happening on the ground?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. And the fishermen themselves know, even the commercial fishermen themselves know when things are changing. But they're not asked. The scientists have to go out and find it out for themselves. They won't ask the people who are on the ground.
They spend 10 years doing the research, you know, and by that time it's already changed again. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Trying to prove a theory.
It's no more than the farmers at the moment now. They're producing more milk. They can produce as much milk as the land. But a field should own. There's so many cows per acre of land. But now they're having to buy feed in because the land isn't able to sustain the amount of cows that they're able to have. So they have to buy feed in, which is soybean and stuff like that, which is produced by chopping down rainforest in the Amazon to produce the soybeans to feed our cow.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
You know, it all comes back to the guy up in the tree with a fucking chainsaw in his hand, and that's what we're
cutting
we're the species. We are doing that. Eventually, we're going to fall out of our tree, and then there's going to be a load of scientists scratching their head.
Where did we go wrong?
That's not the formula I had written down.
Can we rewind? But unfortunately, it might be too late at that stage. I think that's happening right across the divide. Where, as you know, I predominantly hunt, and we're getting back into the latest season we've just come out of. They've extended the season now for deers, and they're going to open it earlier again. Personally, I wouldn't be, you know, obviously deer have to be managed no more than any animal. But again, they could very, in my opinion, they could make huge measures to counteract that problem very, very simply. But it seems that they persist in not dealing with the men and the women on the ground, hunting them to deal with the problem, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They put more and more legislation and more loopholes in the way. And then by the time the change they're talking about now, you know, they've set up deer management units and they're talking about culling. So what will happen now is, you know, you'll have lads being paid to cull deer now, and so they'll be essentially getting a wage, and they'll be forcing their way into people who are, say, the likes of my permission, when I was managing my piece of land for my farmer, I was taking out the oldest stag, or maybe we 1 deer or 2 deers, keeping the healthy herd and so on. And they'll come in now, and because they're being incentivized, they'll
knock you out of the...
knock you out.
You won't be allowed to do the thing which you were managing anyway.
Anyway, and it's the same with the fishing, I presume.
I have the logbook this year.
Yeah.
They don't call it a logbook.
Okay.
The fishery board, they wouldn't call it a logbook.
Okay.
They call it, I don't know, but anyway, because it's too official logbook. It's a fucking logbook.
Yeah.
Don't piss down my back again. It's raining. No, you want me to keep track of what I'm catching. Yes. It's a logbook.
Logbook. Yeah. And I notice and this is probably just what would you say, an unscientific observation, but I used to come in around the docks, obviously back in the day. I was coming into Salthill, I used to come in around that way, and you'd see to be loads of like small little mixture of like your, I'm not saying your boat is small, but you know what I'm saying, different type of vessels. You'd have medium size, you'd have the odd big, but now you see less and less and less and less of the smaller ones.
Yeah, well, because they can't make a living out of it.
Can't make a living.
You can't make a living. It's like the less and less small farmers.
Yeah.
It is going to the fact that there is going to be, rather than 1,000 small farmers in Ireland, there'll be 100 big farmers.
Super farms, yeah.
Exactly.
Same with the fishing.
And it's the same with the fishing.
Yeah.
And they don't want the small man there doing this thing, because do you know what? They can't control us quite as they can control
easily. Well, it takes more paperwork, doesn't it? More inspections,
more inspections, more stuff like that. But also, the bigger boys will pay their campaigns. Will give them contributions. I don't give politicians contributions because I'm too small. But a big guy will give them contributions. So they'll make money out of that. So it's.
And I presume then, from that perspective, Kev, like a smaller, smaller boat. With smaller nets, with smaller crews and so on, does less damage to the thing we're trying to protect.
Exactly, yeah. If you're smaller horsepower, smaller horsepower can't do as, like, you get a big 1,000 horsepower boat and it's putting a net the size of a football pitch behind it with big huge weights to keep it down on the bottom. It's like ploughing a field, but nobody sees the ploughed field because it's under the water. You don't see all the rocks that have been turned over, all the fish that's been killed by this net being dragged along the bottom. Nobody sees this thing. If somebody was to do that in a field where, like, if a farmer produces, there'd be uproar. If a farmer is only allowed to produce 25 lambs in a year, right, but he has too many twin lambs and he produces 30, and then he kills 5 of the lambs to bring it down to the 20 and leaves them dead in the field. There'll be uproar.
Yeah.
The baby lambs. But this is happening all the time at sea. The net doesn't distinguish between a cod and a pollock. So when it's down there, if you quota for 25 boxes of pollock and you've a quota for 15 boxes of cod, you catch all your 15 boxes of cod, but you still got 10 more boxes of pollock to go. You keep on fishing, but you're killing cod at the same time. So you can't land those cod, and you're chucking the cod back in the water, dead. So
sacrilege.
The logic in that is totally stupid,
crazy.
But then again, it was a guy in a fucking suit in an office who made that legislation, who has never worked on a fishing boat on his life.
Lunacy.
It is lunacy.
Yeah.
The boat should be allowed to go out and catch whatever they catch. They keep, but limit the time they're out at sea.
Yeah. Or a certain weight. Once you have your weight,
that has its own limitations because. The big boats for the mackerel, they shoot on a shoal of mackerel, but they don't know what size the mackerel are. So they come in and they're all the same 300 grams each, average weight of 300 grams. You'll only get €1,200 a ton for those mackerel, right? But if they were 500 grams each, you'll get 2,000 a ton.
Yes. Yeah,
so sometimes what they do is they let that go. They're dead, and they'll go off till they find a shoal of 500. Gram mackerel, so they get the higher price.
Yeah,
so
that has its limit. Yeah,
that has its limitation. So you are depending, especially at sea, you're depending on the person who's running the boat having a conscience and having
integrity, morals. Yeah. And
unfortunately, big business don't have integrity, moral, and anything like that. And a small guy out there is much more likely to be, keeping an eye on. Yeah. Well, he wants his son to be able to inherit his boat and go on
and
fish
so
as
on.
well. Yeah,
and I remember the day going back, even, I would have seen, when fishermen were coming in, the locals would come down and, do you know what I mean? They'd buy direct off the, do you know what I mean? They give them a few bob and so on and so forth. And it was that kind of enterprise there. Obviously, that's all gone now. You know, it's all because it has to go through the and that's a sad day as well. Do you know?
If I have an excess of fish, say if I have a group of people like I had Americans out yesterday, they caught fish. We returned everything back alive as much as we possibly could. But if they had caught fish and then they weren't able to return back alive, I cannot turn around to a restaurant and sell that fish to the restaurant.
Isn't that crazy?
I can give it away for free, but how much pollock can you give away for free?
Yes,
But otherwise, then it has to be chopped up for lobster pot bait.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're the best of fish, and
Well, I had some chefs out the last day there in the boat, and they were filleting the fish coming back in, and they were saying, I can't use this in my restaurant because the fact it has to have traceability, it has to have a barcode, it has to have all these different things. Because I could try and get away with it, but if the head pork comes in and looks for batch number this fish, and I don't have a batch number, they close you.
You get away with
even
murder
though the fish
quicker.
was as fresh as way fresher than what they buy in the shop.
And just think about that for a second. So, like, literally, you can come onto land with your fish, but you can't. A restaurant, say similar to the one you used to own here in this building, you can't. There, lads, there's pollock there. Give me a
free dinner.
Yeah.
That's all. I wouldn't be looking for money. Yeah, give me a free dinner. Myself and the missus will go down for dinner.
Yeah. That now is outlawed. That the fish has to go to somewhere. Probably head back up towards the big smoke somewhere.
It has to go to fishmonger in town and then to get a batch number. But then I can't sell to them either because I haven't got a license to sell fish.
Fish, yeah. It goes back to the glass bottle, doesn't it? You know, we had the answer. Now we reinvented the wheel. We came around with the wrong answer, and now we're trying to get back to where we should have been in the first place. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
That's it's an interesting. I suppose we could go down that road. It's like a rabbit hole.
You could. Yeah.
Getting back to the kind of the fun stuff, I suppose.
Let's go back to the fun again.
What's the favorite catch out there? What do you like for hobby fishing now? You know,
hobby fishing. I love the spinning for the pollock. With the jellyworm, leadhead and jellyworm. That's great fun. Taupe are good fun fish to catch. They give a good account of themselves.
Yeah,
so they do. Blue shark are probably the most boring fish to catch.
Okay. And that would surprise a lot of people.
The initial run is great, but blue shark runs from the boat, right? And then you pull him back to the boat. He says, "Oh, fuck a boat," and he'll run again. And then you'll pull him back to the boat and he'll go, "Oh, fuck a boat," and you do that 3 times, and these bollocks just pull him into the boat.
Maybe somebody similar to me, you know, to try and run a couple of times and fucking take it.
Exactly, that's it. No, as opposed to the poor beagle will run away from the boat, and then he'll run at the boat, and then he'll run along, and he'll go around the boat, and he'll do everything. Taupe, pound per pound, much better fight than a blue shark.
Blue shark, very good.
Bullhuss is a bit of a lazy bugger.
Yeah.
Conger is messy. They get into the boat and they thrash around the place, and they just,
you're running around after.
People's ankles are in danger of getting whipped out.
Yeah, and hooks stuck in people.
Exactly. Yes. Ling's a lovely fish to catch and to eat. It's a cracking fish to eat.
We actually caught one of them last year, I think, when we were out with you. Yeah,
lovely firm meat and lovely white, firm, milky flesh, and a beautiful fish to eat. Cod is a nice one to eat. The pollock is a grand fish. Needs to be gutted straight away and kind of chilled straight away pretty quick. They get smelly fairly quick. So you need to keep them, get the guts out as quick as possible. Coalies is the same way. What other one is there?
Cole and pollock, very similar, are they?
Coalie is the black pollock.
Yeah.
And then the orderly pollock is white pollock.
Okay.
So you get smoked coalie in the shop, the yellow one.
Yes,
that's normally smoked coalie.
Okay.
Haddock, we get very few. We get the odd haddock, whiting, we get a few whiting. John Dory now, if you get a John Dory. Oh, gorgeous.
I've never had.
Oh, it's
Beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
That'd be your favourite fish to eat, would it?
One of my favourite fish to eat would be John Dory. Gurnard, if you get a good sized gurnard, very tasty fish to eat as well.
I've never tried again.
Triggerfish, you get the odd triggerfish. They're lovely to eat too. What else do we get down there? Your poutings, your poor cods.
We got a nice array of fish now over the 2 years we've been fishing.
On an average day, you'll get 10 to say 15 different species.
Yeah,
10 to 15 different species. and but if you get a few mackerel, the mackerel have gone down. There's very few mackerel this year.
Is there?
Very poor fishing mackerel this year. And but if you get a bit of mackerel, then you can change it up because of the bait. Then you can start to, if you drop the anchor down, you can all try for, there's the thornback rays and all that sort of stuff. You can be trying for, which are different. But it's all about getting the bait.
The bait, yeah. I think the first year we went out, I remember dropping, I'd never mackerel fished before that, and you had the rods and all set up for us, and we were dropping down, and it was just literally, we hit on a spot, and it was just
six
fantastic.
Mackerel after six.
It was brilliant,
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Really, really, for somebody who hasn't fished, it's really great experience because you're, it's exciting. Obviously, you're pulling up plenty of fish, and then obviously we got a bit of bait then to go on and go after
the big bits of bait on the thing. You're like, we're bigger fish.
You start climbing the ladder a little bit.
Exactly.
But and I think the thing I liked about going out with yourself is, I think especially over the period of the 2 years we've been fishing with you, you were always asked the question, lads, are you going to use that fish? And if you're not, it goes back in. And has everyone got enough fish now? So it's very, very clear. We're not bringing these fish. Landing loads and loads and loads of fish.
Well, my rule on my boat: if you're not going to eat it, you don't keep it.
You don't keep it. Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Yeah,
like there will be certain times if you go to deep water and you're pulling pollock up from 50 meters, they don't go back.
Yeah.
So then I'm usually trying to limit as much as possible. The damaged fish, and if I can try and get them back at all, we try and get them back into the water. Yeah, because it's a shame to kill fish on this.
Absolutely. Well, they go down. We're still. Obviously, we filleted them on the boat, and then we did it slightly different this year. I think we filleted them all on the boat this year. We gutted them last year, and I had to bring it down to the mobile, and I was trying to fillet them into the mobile and so on. And but we vacuum packed them all, myself and Rob, when we got back, and they do my family. For there's none of it goes to waste. It's fantastic fish, lovely, a bit of batter on it. It's our fake away on a Friday night, or so and we. What's your favourite? Say if I was to say now, go out there and stick in your favourite fish in the pan, and what's your favourite recipe? What would you lean towards?
The pollock is lovely done with a nice just seasoned flour, and lightly seasoned and pan fried.
Pan fried.
That's it. Yeah.
Bit of butter,
bit of lemon juice in the end of it. Lovely done at that. You can batter it as well. That's the pollock is treated just like cod.
Yeah.
Then if I got a nice cod, you just fillet it, little bit of lemon juice and salt and pepper under the grill, just for
lovely.
Done like that. It's nice.
Your John Dory. What would you do with that?
Oh, John Dory.
It's becoming quite clear. It's a little favourite.
It is a favourite, but I like, again, I'm getting such fresh fish. This simpler the better. Simple. Just a bit of lemon and parsley. That's all.
Can't go wrong.
Pepper. You can't go far wrong.
Yeah.
And let the fish do its own thing.
Do its talking.
Do its thing. Yeah. If you find that if you're getting a fish out and it's smothered in a heavy sauce, it's because it wasn't very fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's hiding something.
Exactly.
So a good fish should stand up on its own. So that's why if you get a nice fresh bit of fish, definitely just squeeze a lemon and
away you go.
Brush a bit of butter on it, squeeze a lemon, bit of parsley.
I'm getting hungry now. I think that again, going back out when we're out, that's what stands out with both yourself and Jack. The couple of dishes that you guys did. 2-3 ingredients max. The bread being one of them.
Yeah.
The fish being squeeze of lemon juice, or a bit of chili if you want, or I think Jack a little bit of grapefruit or something, and that
coriander as well as the
fresh
fresh herbs in it. Yeah,
just literally, and for anyone who hasn't tried it, I think. I mean, we
didn't catch any mackerel that last day.
No,
we didn't catch one mackerel. That's what I'm saying to you. The mackerel are scarce, rare as hen's teeth now. But yeah, the mackerel done the same way as Jack did it. That is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Mackerel. Mackerel done it. I think we did it the first time we did that.
That's correct.
We did that way, yeah.
Fionn, I think.
Fionn did that way, yeah.
And with a bit of chili and coriander, I think.
Yeah.
And again, I remember Big Mac was over one side, and he was looking. Oh jeez! And he I don't think he ate fish up into that, if I stand corrected. And he was looking at this, and he's not going to make me eat this. And I remember meeting it, and like for somebody who wouldn't be a fish eater, to go straight in at the deep end, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're going there, and that just shows. I think we kind of lost a little bit of touch with simple 2-3 ingredients.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you don't have to be
Rick Stein.
Exactly.
You don't need
fucking
to be a Rick Stein or a what's it called, or a Gordon Ramsay. To do this sort of fish.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but if one of my favourite celebrity chefs would be Keith Floyd. You know, he's passed now, but Keith Floyd, his dishes are so simple.
Yeah. Don't complicate the over.
Don't overcomplicate. Rick Stein can be a bit too complicated.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Gordon Ramsay can be too up his own arse. So, but Keith Floyd, absolutely fantastic chef.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely fantastic. And one shot of wine for the dish and one shot for himself. I agree.
That sounds good. Speaking, do you had Gordon out in the boat before? Did you?
I was supposed to have Gordon out last year, and they did something else. He was booked to go out, and then on the day they were able to fly right close to the Cliffs of Moher with him, so they went for the option of the Cliffs of Moher rather than coming out fishing with me. But
his loss,
exactly.
Yeah, his fucking loss. I actually that's what I seen one of his things. He must be back over here because he maybe it was from last year. He was on the Cliffs of the Moher, and it looked stunning for the
view. Yeah, that was the one he did last year.
It's
that
fucking
was
not reality. The wind would be blowing your head off you out there. But I'd be a big fan of River Cottage. You know, Hugh Fernie.
Oh yeah, Hugh Fernie. He's a good chef as well.
Yeah, and it goes back to, you know, in season, simple.
But as I trained as a chef, the menu was based around the seasons.
Yeah.
You didn't get strawberries at Christmas time.
Yeah, or spring onion at fucking December. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know,
it was. You know, you based your menu on the seasons.
Yeah.
And that was how we were. But nowadays, everything is.
It's instantaneous. You know.
Yeah, everything is there. Like, you know, if you want strawberries, it doesn't matter what time. Strawberries with your cream for after Christmas dinner, you can get strawberries and cream. But they've flown halfway around the fucking world.
I remember talking about that. I remember going into Super Value one day to do a bit of shopping and getting a bit of vegetables and stuff. And there was a woman giving out that they had, and this could have been, you know, October, November or something, that there was no spring onions, you know, in the shelf, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I was saying, just if she took a second, just to talk, do you know what I mean?
October.
Yeah. I'm sure somewhere they're being fucking grown somewhere, and you can have them, you know. And there's somebody listening to this saying, "I'm sure you can get the spring onions anytime," but like, you know what I mean? To give out
Where
about
they come from?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know? So it's mad. It's crazy stuff. But look, I think we'll wrap it up on that note. That's
no problem at all.
about an hour.
That's the point. It's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks a million. So, and for anyone who hasn't, please check out Kevin's. I think you're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, and my website is galwaybayfishing.com.
galwaybayfishing.com.
Yeah, and you can pick
all the details.
Yeah.
Great days fishing. Highly, highly recommend it. All our crew endorse it, and we'll be back again next year, please God.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do the same. We might even stop off on one of the islands.
Absolutely.
We stop off in Inisheer. There's a lovely pint of Guinness and tea Neds.
We've had a couple out there this year, and we've had a couple out there last year. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh, we did. All right, very good.
Oh, that would be an essential part of it.
Oh yeah, because we didn't talk about that. Because we didn't talk about that. We better mention it now.
Yeah,
because it can be very, very good in the day. Like.
Absolutely, a fantastic
good part of the day. As the Inisheer is beautiful island.
It's fantastic. Now, we didn't get to do much walking around it. I have to say, we went to the first pit stop, we settled down, and we got the few pints.
Well, priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whether you noticed this year or not, but I was absolutely dying on the boat this year, and I had to put on a brave face because I was bringing the organising the trip and so on. But I had overindulged the night before, and not
to be recommended.
Not to be fucking recommended. So I had to ease myself into the few pints on the island. But once I got a couple in, you're away in a hack again.
Good as gold. Yeah, no worries.
Listen, Kev, thanks a million for that.
You're welcome.
Really
No
appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
Right, guys, over and out.
And we're back, lad. That was Kevin. Legend.
Yeah, and I tell you, off air we had a great chat. He'd have you in stitches, man.
Oh yeah.
So I'd urge anyone, if you're thinking about chartered with a couple of lads, 5-6 lads, it's a day. Look, you're
absolutely. Look, for no other reason, if you were a fucking penny pincher, do the math. You're going to get a lift out to the Aran Islands where you can have a couple of beers. You're going to come home. Look, if you came home with nothing, but you're not, you're going to come home with fish. And you're just going to have an absolute blast for nothing. Like, what did it cost us that time? About €100 a head or something.
Yeah, about
do you know what I mean?
that, yeah.
Like, get the ferry from Doolin to the Aran Island and see how much it costs.
It's going to cost you that.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you go over, you have a few pints, you tip back, and as you say, it's kind of cost neutral. You'll have, if you have 2 or 3 fish in your, which you will have.
Yeah.
Like, look, it's like hunting, you can never guarantee them, but
yeah.
You have a couple of fish in your bag. And like that, man, if you've one full fish in your bag, go into the supermarket and try and buy one, you wouldn't come out with much out of €50.
Not a hope, man. No.
So, like, if you come out with 2 or 3, happy days, and you've
paid for. And what an experience, especially if you've never done it before. Do you know what I mean? I think you'll take something from it. You know, it's just like,
and he'll teach you. He will. He's a good lad.
Yeah.
So thanks to Kev, and look, we look forward to, please God, getting down to him next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
All things willing.
All things willing, man. 100%. Yeah. What's the plan for this week? Have you much? You're heading away this week.
Yeah, I'm heading over to the UK this weekend, and then next week, then I'm going to try and start hitting it hard up in my little spot, my honey hole, just having a little, depending on what way my spy pint goes. I'm trying to use a little bit of technology now with just walking around in circles is not doing it for me, you know.
No, I know, yeah. You're up and on again, man.
I have walked that fucking place. Yeah. There's not an inch of it I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying.
That is the truth.
Yeah. Make it all the more worthwhile when you eventually get. Do you know what I mean?
Funny enough, one of the lads there was texting me on Instagram the other night, and he was asking me, did I get him on Sunday? And I said no, and I said it'll be a bittersweet day when I do.
Yeah,
if I do, if I ever do.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy this bit.
Yeah.
I'll be kind of saying, "Jeez, man." But
he's gone now.
Gone now.
Sure, look,
I give it up.
You can't have your cake and eat it. I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I know, especially when it's a spot like yours where it's personal. Do you know what I mean? It's your own.
Yeah, I've grown up there, and like, you know, and that's. But yeah, so c'est la vie.
Yeah.
Yourself, you're heading out tomorrow.
Yeah. Myself and I think Big Mac are going to head out if the stars align, as the fella says, and everything works out. We're going to head up. We'll head up to Wicklow for a couple of hours. Get the last couple of hours of daylight, and then back home. So it's been my first time out. So I've everything packed in my bag packed. I've my gun clean. I've everything geared up, ready to go.
Ready to rock.
Yeah, ready to rock and all. Yeah. So look, we'll see.
We were actually just talking just off air, just interested because I know again a couple of people were actually asking about in amounts, so on and so forth. And I can just confirm, we went up, myself and Rob, and did a bit of zeroing last week. Rob was actually changing that ammunition, and I went up just to take a look, and I brought the rifle, and I just said, here, I sat down, I had 2 shots, and she is spot on. And I've had night vision on, Floxing, on and off. I'd say, you know, in double figures at this stage, you know, 10, 11 times. And, spot on, nailed on. There you go, man. That's unbelievable, isn't it? Spot on. So.
Again, another quality product, in fairness, you know.
And look, I'm not saying they're for everyone. And I do know one of the issues is the height above bore with the rail and stuff that I have doesn't suit everyone, maybe especially when you're pushing out long distance, whatever. But look, I can still push out. I can push out 400 or 500 meters if I want. So that's all I'm ever going to be shooting.
Yes.
But obviously, look, again, if I was to review it, I'd try maybe get a slightly smaller rail and get a little bit further down, closer to bore. But it was more for the night vision end that I went with that. But say la vie, like, you know.
He's just working spot on, though. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we were just saying there earlier on, we were talking about the prices of in amounts and stuff, and we were looking at them when you were saying they're probably, what was it, roughly 450,
500 quid.
and you're thinking, geez, it's a big investment. But then I suppose if you think, how many times would you be re-zeroing and how many rounds would you be going through? Because me and you don't use 1 or 2 rounds when we're zeroing.
No.
We just don't, you know.
That's it.
You know, and you're considering 60 quid now, or 60 is probably more. I haven't bought rounds since last year. It's probably 60. I was actually going to buy a box the other evening. I never thought of it. I wanted to buy another box of the Nozzlers. Or not, what are they called? Yeah, Nozzlers. But they were €65, I think, a box. So they're probably...
Yeah.
They haven't guaranteed they haven't got any cheaper anyway.
So, like, it's €3 a bullet, plus, you know what I'm saying? And as you said, it'd be... Some evenings you'd be 6 or 7.
Well, it'd be easy, but if you're setting 2, like you have to take one off, so you have to there's say there's a minimum, there's 4, but that's €12. Then when you're putting it back on, there's another. Do you know what I mean? So add it up.
It doesn't be long, and like that was my biggest fear. In fairness, John had said to me, like, and I looked at loads of reviews, and they seem to be, but like, you know what I mean. You're looking at a video from the people who make them, and in fairness, John had said to me, look, if you're going to go, this is the way to go. Yeah, and for easy use and everything, I just love it. Spot on. If I'm going out for, like, I can go out for a deer today, and I'd say, if I'm lucky enough to get a deer, put that in the freezer. I might go out for a deer again for a month, 2 months. You know,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You go foxing or you know, so it's brilliant for that type of systems. Just to let people know a little bit of an update. Yeah, she's still grouping well, spot on, happy out.
Does what it says in the tin.
Does what it says in the tin.
That's all you can ask for, man. That's all you can ask for. Yeah, before we wrap it up, we have a couple of good guests coming on now, in fairness, over the next couple. And I want to say thanks again, because we have well, I know that the podcast hasn't been coming as frequent as ever, but like, obviously not alone are we busy during the summer. Obviously, people are taking a break and stuff from hunting and stuff. So it'll be coming out a little bit more regular now. And thanks a million to everybody. We are still always getting messages, and got a message today off a fella that was just, he's really enjoying some of the interviews with some of the characters we've had on over the past couple of weeks. So thanks for getting in contact with me. We do appreciate it,
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And the guests are
they're getting bigger and bigger. Who have we got coming on? We've a massive guest coming on next week, which we won't just mention, but this is
we'll build up to
this
it next week. Yeah,
this is probably one of the bigger, the biggest we've had on today. So
yeah, it'd be well known in the hunting circles, and so yeah, we're really looking forward to that. Huge YouTube and Instagram and Facebook following, and he'd be world renowned. So that's exciting. We also have due to popular demand, because I know loads of people were asking, and we're kind of starting to give out, but we weren't doing any woodcock, and something that I wouldn't have huge amount of experience in.
No.
And so you'd have a little bit of woodcock.
Oh, I've shot a couple of them. I'd say, maybe 6 or 7 in my life. I'd say maybe, But
again, it's like a cult following. You know, people love woodcock hunting. So, and like that, we were just waiting for, obviously, like, the timing. So we're coming up to the season now shortly.
Yeah.
So we've lined up a very special guest for that. With huge experience and huge research behind it as well. So we hope you'll enjoy that one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then look, we've Adam Grenda has been.
He's going to come back on and tell us about this Dáil sheep hunt, which is, I can't wait, man. I was looking at some of that, yeah.
So we hope to have him back on pre-Christmas and so on, and then we've tons of stuff.
We've tons of stuff. Again, Let's Talk Gear. We're going to kick in the guts again. We would like to apologise to, obviously, we've had an awful lot of players getting in contact asking us to test stuff, and we've been putting on the long finger because we want to do any product, we want to give it justice. And with the hunting season not in full swing, we didn't really see the point in trying to, do you know what I mean? So we have a couple of bits. We've probably 4 or 5 bits at the minute that we'll be doing over the next couple of weeks. Everything from handheld thermals to sticks to torches to knives, you name it. So again, if you have something that you think is worth a cut and you are happy enough for us to gets to put it to the test, get in contact, and if we can help you at all, we definitely will.
Absolutely.
Last thing I do want to just say is don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and please, if you can jump on to Spotify and give us a rating, give us a review on Spotify. It just makes things a world of difference for us. It'll take you 5 seconds. Again, if you could please do that, we really appreciate it. You know?
And we have the YouTube obviously as well. Again, we'll have a little bit more, hopefully with a few reviews and stuff like that. We can throw up a few more videos and so on going forward. But we need you to jump on there.
Jump on there and give us
at the IHP is the handle there. So yeah, look, we're all over the place, man.
Every little helps, as Tesco to say. And I know I've said this 3 times already. This is the last thing I want to say is don't forget that Monday is obviously being the 1st of September. So waterfowl, the duck season is in. Just remember what you can and can't shoot. Also, it's all lead steel shot now.
Yep.
So don't forget that. And for people that are heading out maybe first time, you need a valid foreshore license if you're hunting on any of the state-owned lakes in Ireland. So free, easy to get. Jump on to National Parks and Wildlife. I think it's still on there. It could be even online now. I'm not sure.
I think it is, and I think they last for 3 years.
3 years, yeah. So just check that and keep yourself all above board and all covered.
Yeah, absolutely. And stay safe and let us know how we get on.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep us all posted, all right?
Stay hunting, guys. Over and out.
Over and out. Take it easy.